I'd like to hear more about your plant-based diet and how you get your protein in. So, usually I don't talk about what I eat unless somebody asks me because a person's way of life can be very, well, personal. And a lot of times people will criticize you, whatever. I do the same thing if people ask my opinion because everyone's different and everyone's got different goals. Everyone's got different soul. Everyone's got different agendas. So, and I hate being one of those. You need to be just like me if you want to get results. It's that simple because it's not. Everyone's body is different. But I will do my best to kind of give you a background of when I was doing plant based and what I changed. And basically, I mean, I can't call myself plant based at all at this point, but what changed? And to be honest, there's so much I could tell you, so much I could go into as far as supplementation, multivitamins, but who wants to listen to all of that? So it was around 2017, 2018 that I started my venture into plant based, and I had a good support group, if you want to call it that, some friends that were. So when you guys talk about that, that's like what all you talk about, right? And at the time, I was still not going to the gym. For those of you who haven't followed me, I was a hardcore gym rat into bodybuilding, and because my job doing tires, working in a tire shop, was so demanding, and my back was killing me, and I stopped going to the gym. I was like, I can't do it anymore. I'm getting too old. That's it. No more gym. Bye bye gym time. So at that time, my focus wasn't about building muscle. I was still eating healthy. I was still doing, my ab checks. I was still staying in decent shape. But was I really compared to how I was when I was hardcore into the gym? Not really. So a year or two, maybe 3 years, who knows, after doing plant based, being plant based, getting into it, getting my diet down, my lifestyle down. Oh, that was rough. I got back into the gym because I couldn't handle not doing that for myself anymore. I couldn't handle the way my body was looking. I was getting soft and I was putting on weight. I was drinking a lot. I was drinking a lot, in my opinion. I mean, a daily drink to me is a lot. So I missed having that discipline. I missed feeling good about myself the way I felt good when I would put on muscle and have those gains. I missed the drive. I missed the workouts. I missed the pushing. I missed all of it. And I was determined to figure out how to go to the gym and not worry about tweaking my back every other workout, or every workout for that matter. So for me, getting into the gym meant getting back on supplements. I was already taking a multivitamin for being vegan, if you want to call it that. I'd never call myself vegan because of that's a whole nother thing. But anyways, um, but protein, yeah, protein big. And I hate tofu shit, any kind of soy products. I don't really like, but occasionally a protein powder that was plant-based would have soy in it, right? Lots of soy. Soy is garbage to me. I was just like, I need to get a good protein powder. And I was starting to find good protein powders, and I was looking for protein powders that were less chemically processed. All of a sudden, my concern wasn't whether it had dairy in the protein powder or whatever. It was, how processed is this? How dangerous is this protein to my body? So I needed to find good sources of protein powders to supplement and get like 100 grams of protein in my body per day, at least. Not even, no way, that's not true. Like 175 is my goal per day. Protein grams. And I was on my protein finding journey, and I was just like, oh, this protein tastes like shit. It was just like, this isn't plant based though, but this is really high quality protein powder. This is really high quality. This is really expensive protein powder, but it's not plant based. And I was just torn. I was so, and then finally I said, fuck it. I was like, let's do what we always do. I am my own guinea pig. I am my own tester of things. So I was like, all right, we're going to try this one protein powder out, and we're going to see how we do with the gains, the muscle gains. And that was just the beginning, because obviously the protein powder that I was using, that I still use, was not plant-based. And as I was seeing good results, as I was seeing quality products that I was using, I was just like, well, what's the toss-up? Everyone has a decision to make for themselves and how they live their lives, and supplementing with the right protein to get muscle gains was a, huge deal to me. And then years go, I'm getting into my nook, I'm getting back into the gym, I'm getting those gains, and I'm starting to go down a rabbit hole of these plant-based meat products, or all these like products out there that are for vegans, that are for vegetarians, and looking into what goes into how they're made, and the stuff in the ingredients, and going down this rabbit hole of like, is this really safe for my body? There's so much stuff in these products. Is this what I want to be doing to my body at this point in my life? Like, what's the trade-off? Like, what do I do? And what got me on this whole plant-based thing in the first place was watching a YouTube video called Earthlings, and seeing what these poor animals go through, and the slaughterhouses, and the trauma, and the way they were treated was traumatizing to myself. So that was, the issue. I was like, well, if they would just humanely, unalive these animals, but come on, So then I was looking into eggs. Eggs are a great source of protein. So I started going down the rabbit hole of finding eggs from certain farmers where, I could look into how, the chickens were treated, and of course they were more expensive. Of course, way more expensive. But I was just like, I don't want to be consuming something where these animals are just in a world of pain, in a world of hurt, and that's another rabbit hole I went down. And then I have a friend who, you call, your nail tech your friend because you spill your guts to them, right? And she's like, hey, we've got chickens if you want, fresh eggs from us. So I was like, awesome, boom. So I was introducing, again, better forms of protein into my body that I was okay with. And I've said this on previous videos that I probably consume too much protein from protein powders. Like, I started deep diving into that, like I wasn't having any health problems, but my brain's always going, is this good for me? Is this right for me? Just because I don't have any problems now, if they're putting so much stuff in these protein powders, what would be better sources of protein? But anyway, hats off to you if you're still with me, by the way, and you're still watching. So then I went down the rabbit hole of sardines. Sardines are super cheap. Sardines don't have the mercury that tuna does. So I went crazy with the sardines, and I'll probably have sardines 2 or 3 times a day. And then I started looking into regenerative farming. So I was at my local natural grocers. I was looking at the meat, and of course, this is super expensive meat for such a small quantity. And so I found the company that made, and I was like, regenerative farming, and I went down the rabbit hole of regenerative farming, and I contacted this company. I was like, well, what is the lifestyle like for these cows? What is it like, right before they are unalived, and how do you unalive them? Like, I wanted to know if there was trauma in these animals' minds before they died, like I'd seen on this Earthlings documentary. And they got back to me, and they told me what they did, and, whatever they call that thing to their brain that knocks them, and that they were not, taunted or anything. And basically that's how so I started, trying out this regenerative farming beef, and this video is almost over. So I'm still going down rabbit holes. I'm still researching these places, these kind of farming that are better for the environment, better for the animals, and better for the person consuming them. If you lasted this long, you deserve a reward.